Hello and welcome back to ECS Coffee. My name is Rebecca. I am here with John today. And today we're going to show you how to take apart and unclog your DF54 and also give you some tips on how to not have it clogged. Okay, so I'm going to pass this over to John, who is going to help to take us through step by step how to safely unclog your DF54. So John, what is the first step?
All right, first step, on any grinder, it's a good idea to unplug it.
Why is that?
Because if you don't, you might die. But burrs are scary. They are blades.
Yeah.
And if you take this grinder apart and it's plugged in and you have your fingers in there or a brush or whatever and you hit the power button by accident, you could hurt yourself.
Wah, wah.
So unplug the grinder before you start.
Yes.
That's the first step. Second step, I usually start with the burrs themselves rather than trying to do the chute, because if the chute's clogged, it's gonna be really hard to push the coffee out of the chute. No, that's the opposite. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Start with the burrs first.
Start with the burrs first. I usually start with the burrs first. So on the DF54, you just twist coarse until eventually just comes off. You don't have to unscrew this front little set thing. That's there to help you maintain the 0 point of the burrs. So just leave that on. And then when you put it back on, it aligns to the front anyway. So it's pretty easy to put back together. And then once you have it apart, you have your two burrs. So your top burr and your bottom burr. It's a little more involved to take the bottom burr out. So I would only really suggest that if something's really wrong. For unclogging, you shouldn't need to take the bottom burr out. So all you need to do is brush the top burr off. Generally, this isn't going to be where the problem is. So you can just set that aside.
And brush it off. You can just use like a little paintbrush or something, with some just loose bristles. You don't need to use something that's crazy hard. And also, no water ever touches the burrs. They will rust, especially if they are regular stainless steel, because it is untreated stainless steel. It will rust almost immediately.
So, and then you have your grind chamber itself. So the burr itself isn't really the part, again, that's gonna be the clogging issue. It's the section around that feeds the coffee out into the chute. So when the grinder gets clogged, it's all these sections in here. So you just need a little brush.
We have so many of these. This isn't for this grinder, but it'll look kind of like this.
Yeah. And then when the grinder's clogged, these areas around the top will be compacted with coffee, so you do kind of need to break it apart a little bit. If it's really clogged, with the DF, what I usually do is I just turn it over and sort of pat it on the top like that, and it'll knock out some of the coffee. If you can't do that, then you could also vacuum it out, but you just need to break up some of the loose stuff, or break up the compacted stuff, so that it's looser, so that then the burrs can actually turn. Once the burrs are able to turn, then you can just brush the chute itself out. And when the chute is clear enough that coffee can pass through, you can put the grinder back together and kind of run it, and it'll get a lot of the stuff out. And then you just need to make sure that it's fully cleared. But the main thing is just emptying these sections around the outside of the burr, because that's where the coffee gets compacted. And if that's blocked, the burrs can't turn, which means it can't push the coffee out, which means it's gonna stay clogged.
And we'll also say, if you are overwhelmed or you take this apart, you do unclog it, you put it back together, it immediately clogs again, even after a couple times of use. Bring it to a service center. Try not to, like John said, taking the bottom burr out is a lot more involved, and you really run the risk of putting it back together incorrectly. And if you do that, the grinder is you could kill it. It could be really difficult to either get it put back together properly at all, and it just isn't worth it at the end of the day. So if you are really struggling to maintain it being unclogged, and you're doing all of the things that you should be doing, which are things like
hot starting the grinder, so start it before you put the beans in. Don't use oily coffee. That'll clog the grinder, same with flavored coffee. DF will recommend you to use the RDT technique. I think the T stands for technique.
Yes,
anyway,
yeah.
RDT your beans, which just means to spray a little bit of water on it, not a lot. It's just enough to sort of coat them with a light layer, which helps reduce the static. And then regularly brush out the chute, because that is where the ionizer on this grinder is, and so you want to make sure that that's staying clean. If you don't brush out the chute, then that will start to build up as well.
Yeah, but clogging is something that it just will happen in a grinder. When you think about it, you're grinding something into a fine powder, and it just naturally is going to clog over time. It just is going to happen. It's like when you walk on dirt over time, it's just going to get packed down. So your grinder will clog. Luckily, this one specifically is quite easy to unclog and maintain properly. It just means that even weekly, you might have to quickly unscrew it, break up the little bit of hard coffee that's on the side, and then just run out all of those grinds, tip it over, burp the baby. That would not that is something that we have done so many times. Don't be scared to give it a nice little whack. This thing is hefty and it's well made, it's solid. You're not going to hurt your grinder if you give it a few whacks on the body, okay? The main thing is, make sure to be very aware of how you are cleaning the burrs, that you're aware if how you're taking out the bottom burr. If you are, we're not showing you because you shouldn't need to. Like John said, it's around the sides that you need to be concerned about. And then obviously making sure it's unplugged for safety unless you want to have no fingers. I will also say, we mentioned it in our last video, but if you are experiencing clogging over and over again, it could be because of static. And these plastic dosing cups, they help to produce static. So if you are experiencing static and you're using this dosing cup to grind into, get rid of this first and then see how the clogging is, because from trial and error with our own service technicians, they have found that it will increase your static significantly, so much so that it increases how frequently you're clogging. So just get rid of this first if you're experiencing clogging consistently before you try necessarily changing anything else, okay? And then we're also going to show you how to put this grinder back together because it's quite easy. So
when you pick up the top burr piece, it does have that centering dial or arrow. So the arrow is always going to face the front, and it has these 3 little prongs that fit into these rubber things. So when it sits in it correctly, it'll sort of drop into place. Like that.
It is very precise, so don't rush and take your time doing it.
Once it's in place, it won't move. And then you just need to be careful when you're screwing the top back down. When it's screwing incorrectly, it shouldn't take any effort to turn. If you find that it does resist being turned, don't turn it. That means you're cross-threading it. You could damage the grinder. If you do that, you won't only be ruining the top ring, which would need to be replaced, you'd also be ruining the lower body of the grinder because the threads are on there. So you would need to replace that as well. So just be careful putting it back together. And then that's it. You put your little anti-popcorning thing on, put your bellows back on, and you're ready to go.
And then you're good to grind. The threading is very, it's very thin. It's when you look at it, it's very, very thin, the threading. So making sure that you're, like John said, if you're experiencing resistance from the grinder, stop and reposition everything. Don't move too much further. And then it should screw on with ease. This takes literally 0 effort. It's moving very smoothly. So just something, that's actually a very, very good point, because they are robust grinders, so if you're taking it apart for your first time, you might assume that it's hard to get this on, right? Because you want it to be screwed on tightly, but it should move with ease. So that's a very good point, so thank you. So this is how you would kind of take apart, some tips and tricks to maintain the grinder, and also knowing that clogging is normal. If you clog every single time, that's a time to reach out for further assistance. But if you are using non-oily beans, if you are changing your grind size while it's either running or while everything is empty, and if you are hot starting the grinder, so you're grinding first and then adding the beans, then you should be fine. But even if you're clogging weekly, just knowing that could just be normal. There's a lot of factors that go into why a grinder could clog. Some of them are also beyond your control, including like humidity levels in your house, the temperature outside. Like during different seasons, you're going to experience more or less clogging, especially if you live somewhere like Canada, where we experience such varying degrees of humidity and temperature and stuff like that. So just know that clogging is normal. If you clog every time you grind, there could be something going on, or it could be something that you're doing. And yeah, no oily beans, no flavored beans. Why would you want to use flavored beans in here anyways, honestly? And then that would be it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you, John, for helping us with our taking the grinder apart. If you have any questions, just drop them down below, and we'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.